Story title: I heard breathing under my bed. This event happened in 1985. You don't forget the first time you hear something that shouldn't exist. It wasn't loud. That's the worst part. If it had been loud, if something had crashed or growled, I would have reacted differently. I would have turned on the light, checked the room, maybe even laughed it off. But this, it was quiet, subtle, human. It started as a soft, uneven rhythm, breathing, right under my bed. At first, I thought it was me. You know how sound works at night? It plays tricks. The room is silent, your ears strain, and suddenly everything feels amplified. Your own breathing echoes back at you. So I held my breath and waited. For a second, nothing. Then, inhale, slow, wet, too close. Exhale, not mine, not possible. I didn't move. I couldn't. My body just locked. Like something deep in my brain knew that if I moved, if I even acknowledged it, whatever was under there might respond. So I lay there, staring at the ceiling, eyes wide open in the dark. And I listened. Inhale, exhale, steady, patient, like it had been there for a long time. Now, here's the thing you need to understand. I live alone. Small apartment, 3rd floor, no pets, no roommates, no weird shared ventilation or anything like that. Just me and whatever was breathing under my bed. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was the pipes. Old buildings make strange noises. Air pockets, pressure changes, stuff like that. But pipes don't breathe. They don't pause. They don't sound tired. I told myself, don't look, because once you look, it becomes real. And as long as I didn't look, there was still a chance, just a small one, that I was imagining everything. So I stayed there, for what felt like hours, listening, counting breaths that weren't mine. Eventually, it stopped, just like that. No fade, no movement, just silence. I didn't sleep after that, not even close. I stayed frozen until the sky started turning that dull gray blue, the kind that makes everything feel safe again. Only then did I finally sit up, slowly, carefully. My eyes drifted to the edge of the bed. The darkness underneath was thick, heavy, like it didn't want to be disturbed. I remember thinking, if something's there, I'll see it immediately. That's what I told myself. That's what I needed to believe. So I leaned over, and I looked. Nothing, just empty space, dust, a stray shoe. No movement, no shape, no sign that anything had ever been there. And somehow, that made it worse. I didn't tell anyone the next day. What would I even say? Hey, I think something was breathing under my bed last night. No. That's how you get labeled. That's how people start looking at you differently. So I kept it to myself, tried to act normal. But normal doesn't stick after something like that, because once you've heard it, you start listening for it again. That night, I told myself I'd stay awake. I kept the lights on longer than usual, watched random videos, played music softly in the background, anything to avoid silence, because silence is where it lived. Eventually, though, exhaustion won. It always does. I turned off the lights, lay down, pulled the blanket up, and stared into the dark. At first, nothing, just the usual nighttime quiet, the faint hum of electricity, distant traffic, my own heartbeat. Then, inhale. I froze instantly. No confusion this time, no denial. I knew exactly what it was. Exhale. Closer than before. My chest tightened. I didn't even realize I had stopped breathing again until my lungs started burning. So I forced myself to breathe, slow, controlled, trying to match its rhythm, trying to convince myself it was just some weird echo, some overlap of sound. But it wasn't matching me. It had its own pace, its own presence. And then something changed. It got deeper. The inhale stretched longer. The exhale dragged out, like whatever was down there was becoming aware, not just of the room, but of me. That's when I felt it. The shift in the mattress. So slight most people would miss it, but I didn't, because I was already hyper-aware. And I knew exactly what that meant. Something underneath had moved, not crawling, not shifting position, just adjusting. Like it was getting comfortable, like it wasn't going anywhere. I wanted to run. Every instinct in my body screamed at me to get up, turn on the light, get out of the room, call someone, anyone. But something stronger held me in place. A quiet, terrifying thought. If you move, it will react. So I stayed, and it kept breathing. For hours. By the third night, I wasn't pretending anymore. Something was under my bed, and it wasn't leaving. I didn't even try to sleep. I sat upright against the headboard, lights off, eyes fixed on the edge of the mattress, waiting, because at this point, it wasn't about fear anymore. It was about confirmation. It started earlier this time, not in the middle of the night, not after silence had settled. No, it started while I was still fully awake. Inhale. That same slow, damp breath. But now, there was something else mixed in. A faint sound, not quite a voice, not quite movement, almost like a whisper that forgot how to form words. I leaned forward slightly, against every instinct telling me not to, trying to hear it more clearly. And that's when it stopped breathing. Instantly. Silence slammed into the room so hard it felt physical, like pressure, like something had just noticed me noticing it. My throat went dry. I didn't move, didn't blink, didn't even swallow. Then, very slowly, something tapped against the underside of the mattress, once, then again, not random, not accidental. It was deliberate, and it was responding to me. I didn't sleep at all after that. Not that night, not the next. Because once something responds to you, it's no longer just a sound. It's not your imagination. It's not your brain playing tricks. It's something else, something aware. And here's the part that messed me up the most, the part I didn't understand at first. It only happened when I was in the bed. I tested it. Sat on the floor. Nothing. Stood by the door. Silence. Even laid on the couch in the living room, completely normal. But the moment I got into bed, waited, listened. Inhale. Like it had been waiting too. That's when the thought hit me. Not all at once. Slow, creeping. What if it wasn't just under the bed? What if it was only there, when I was? I don't know what pushed me to do it. Maybe exhaustion, maybe curiosity, maybe something worse. But on the fifth night, I decided I was going to look again. Not quickly, not from a distance, up close. I got off the bed slowly. The breathing didn't stop this time. If anything, it got louder. I knelt down, right at the edge. The darkness underneath felt wrong. Not just dark, dense, like it had weight, like it didn't belong to the room. I lowered myself further, my face inches from the floor, and I looked. At first, nothing. Then, movement. Not a full shape, not a body, just a slight shift deeper in the darkness. And then I saw it. Two pale shapes, not eyes, not exactly, but something that reflected just enough light to tell me I wasn't alone. And then it inhaled right in front of me.